Old nigga hit me and I said, new body, who this? Old nigga hit me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by again. And today's video is going to be on my round 2 BBL that I just had. Right now I am 6 weeks post-op, so a month and a half. I did my surgery May 13th. And this time I did not stay in the States. I went to the Dominican Republic. So this round was really different from my last round. So I'm gonna talk about my experience. I'm gonna talk about the review on the doctor. Do I recommend him or not? I'm going to talk about pricing, of course, the recovery houses, all that good stuff. This is my second take at this video. I did a whole other one yesterday, but I felt like I missed some stuff, so I'm redoing the video now. Also, this is gonna be a 2-part video. So this part 1 is going to be about everything I just mentioned: recovery house, doctor, experience, blah blah blah. And the next video is going to be about compression and faja talk, which ones I like and which ones I don't like. So stay tuned for all that. So let's get into it. I had a great experience. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of a mess down there in the Dominican Republic. But anyway, let's talk about first the doctor. His name is Jorge Rafael Gomez, Jrafael2002 on Instagram. That's the doctor I went to. If you hear a dog in the background, please just ignore him. He's been barking for like the past 3 days, every day, 10 to 1 p.m. I don't know, I guess his owner got a job, but just ignore him. But anyway, so booking him, how I found him on Instagram. A surgery page had posted him, and at first I didn't like his results. I felt his butts were like way too big, his hips were way too big. I feel like everything was way too big, but the waist was small. I didn't consider him at first, and I was talking to another doll who actually went to him as well, and we were like, no, we don't, like basically saying we don't like it, but I don't know, something snapped in us and made us like him, and we decided to book with him because I originally was going to go to Dr. Disla, who's also in DR, but I changed my mind with her because I was just seeing some things on the internet, on Instagram, about like, it was like a burn recently, and then girls weren't happy, she wasn't delivering. So I decided to go against that. I had a deposit with her. I just decided to go with Dr. Gomez. I wrote the number on his Instagram and I paid my $500 deposit and I booked the date. It was very easy, very smooth. Now it's kind of hectic, and I'm gonna get into a little bit about that a little later. So when you have surgery out the country, you need to be in that country 2 to 3 days prior if your flight is 3 hours or less. And if you have a 5-hour or more flight, you need to be there 5 days before. So I live in New York, and going to DR, that's like a 3.5-hour flight. So I got down there 2 days before, and I expected my surgery to be 2 days after. However, it was not. It was 3 days after. It got pushed back, which was fine. It didn't matter to me as long as I was having my surgery. So now I get to the DR, the recovery house that I was staying in. I only stayed there for 1 day. I'm gonna tell you why. But I was staying there and they sent the driver. It's very hard when you are in a country that doesn't speak your primary language, so you need your translate app. It's kind of hard to communicate with the driver because he didn't speak any English. So I was able to say a couple things to him to communicate with him, and I was actually pretty scared on the drive because I put the address in. The recovery house already gave me the address. I put the address in and he wasn't going to that address, but eventually I saw why, because once I got there, it was an apartment. It wasn't what I thought I would be staying at from the looks on Instagram. But come to find out that you stay in that apartment first, and then once you get your surgery, then you go to the house. However, I never made it to the house because there was a girl from the Facebook group who was staying at the house of that recovery house, and she was telling me that the beds were very uncomfortable. She couldn't sleep. The food wasn't all that. She was saying that you know, they clean there, but they don't clean every day, like maybe like every other day, every 2 days. But you're dealing with a lot of blood and a lot of, you know, you're not able to shower, so a lot of scent, like you need to clean every day. So that was a red flag for me. So I end up switching my recovery house the next day, and I'll tell you which one that I was staying at. So the first day I get down there, the assistant told me I was gonna see the doctor for consultation and lab orders, and she told me to be at the facility at 3 p.m. So the facility was like 20 minutes away from the recovery house, and the driver picked me up 30 minutes before. We got there about 2:55. She told me to be there 3. We got there 2:55. And then at 2:57, literally when he's looking for parking, she texts me and says, the doctor can't see you. Why would you text me 3 minutes before instead of 15 minutes, even 10 minutes? Like, you should have like told me way beforehand, and like you let me get there. You know what I'm saying? So she's just apologizing, blah, blah, blah. Come see the doctor 7 o'clock in the morning. So I get back to the recovery house, and I'm talking to girls that's there. That night go by. The next day comes. I get to the doctor's office at 7 a.m. and there was a little wait because they wasn't there. And as soon as the doctor get there, as soon as I see him, you know, we're talking. He doesn't speak English. He uses the assistant to either translate, or he uses a translator app to speak. And the doctor was very nice. I'm going to talk about my opinions with him after my initial experience. So he was really nice, and he told me basically, like, he was touching my fat or whatever, and he was basically saying, like, you know, I'm gonna do what I can because you don't have much fat. Which I already knew that. I wasn't expecting some big badunkadunk. You know, like, I wanted just medium. I knew that he could achieve that based on his results that I've seen on Instagram. So when you are at the consultation, this is where you pay for your surgery. And you pay for your surgery, and they include some massages that you need to pay for, which is an additional price, and pricing will be talked about later on in the video. Also, when you do your consultation, you get your lab orders. I had 2 lab orders. One was to go to a place called Sisipler, and then the other one was the next day for a place called Savia, which was the hospital that I was gonna have my surgery at. So right after the consultation, I went to Sisipler, and I did my labs there. I have my receipts here. I still have my lab orders. So when you go to Sisipler, Savia, whatever clinic the doctor instructs you to go to, the first one I did my it was my blood work, which included the COVID test, HIV test. It includes all of that in one. With the blood, and then I did my x-ray. So you go there, you take a ticket, you get a number, you sit on the couch, you stand up, whatever you want to do to wait, and then you do your blood work, and then you're out of there. I wanted to wait for my lab orders because I knew I had to take them to the next clinic, but the lady told me, mind you, I got there like at 9 a.m. The lady told me wait till like 2. So anyway, you know how many hours is that. By 12 o'clock I was hungry. I ordered Uber Eats. I ate my food. 2 o'clock comes, like, I take a little nap on the couch. 2 o'clock comes, and no lab orders is ready. While I'm waiting on the couch, I decided to get another recovery house because I knew that once I did my surgery, I didn't want to go to the house of the recovery house that I was at, the house part of it, because of the bad review from another doll that I was speaking to. So I was searching for a recovery house, and I wound up going to Betty Recovery House. They told me that the things that were included were 8 free massages, a boppy pillow, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snack. So that was interesting to me, and it was okay price for the rest of my stay. So I decided to go with them, and I went to the first recovery house that I was at. I don't think I mentioned it, Dubai Recovery House. I went back there to get my things, and then I took an Uber to the next recovery house. I went to Dubai Recovery House first. I don't recommend it, you know, because what the girl told me that they weren't cleaning up and stuff like that. Even the one I was staying in, it wasn't like so glamorous. The apartment part wasn't so glamorous. The food was good, however, but it wasn't nothing included. The price of that recovery house was $980 for 13 nights. $9.80 or something like that. And that's a good price, but you get what you pay for. They didn't have anything included. The only thing that's included is food. That's it, I would say, because in the list of things they had included is like Wi-Fi, a safe, a 24-hour generator, like all the things that really don't even matter. And then the second recovery house that I stayed in, which was Betty's recovery house, wasn't that glamorous either. It was cool, it was nice. The nurses are very amazing. They are at you hand and foot. They take care of you, they wash you, they do all that good stuff. This dog is annoying that's barking outside. Yeah, the nurses are amazing. However, the food is, I'm gonna say, disgusting. I know one day we had like chicken lasagna, the cheese wasn't melted. It was just, that food is not all that. Like, even their fruits was like, like, how you get tired of eating fruits? Like, that don't even make sense. The fruits was okay. The breakfast was good. Betty's recovery house ran me $13.90 for I believe it was at this point 12 or 11 nights I stayed, because remember I had switched recovery house, so I was already at the other recovery house. So the next day, now this is day 3, I'm in DR. I go back to the clinic to pick up my labs, and then of course I have a driver this whole time. The recovery house provides a driver. I go to the clinic to pick up the labs, and I go to the next clinic to do the rest of the labs and to get evaluated by the anesthesiologist. Got to the next clinic, you know, you sign in, they call your name. I did another x-ray, I don't know why. Then I did anesthesiologist. It's an evaluation. Basically, she just asks you a bunch of questions, you know, family history, allergies to medicine, have you ever had anesthesia, have you ever had any other surgeries, any reactions to anesthesia, you know, things of that nature. After that, I went to the cardiovascular. She does like the heart, you know, to check your heart to see if you're good for surgery. And while I was doing that, I bumped into the doctor. He just so happened to be walking by, and I didn't have a date. Like I didn't have a time. My surgery was the next day, and I didn't have a time. So I was asking him like, oh, what time should I be here? Cardiovascular doctor, she was communicating with him because she speaks English and Spanish. She's fluent in both, and she was translating, and she was asking him what time should I be here, and I heard him say "Oi," and I know that means today, and I'm like, no, like my surgery's supposed to be tomorrow. So he pulled me to the side and he's like, yeah, come tomorrow at 6 a.m. Make sure you reserve your blood. I'm like, I already did that. And he was like, you know, everything's gonna be fine and you're gonna look good, and you know, blah blah blah, little things like that. So that night, his assistant texts me and she's like, you can come at 9 a.m. because your surgery is going to be at 11 a.m. You don't need to come at 6, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm pissed off, like, wow, my surgery is getting pushed back again. I woke up early that day anyway because I was just so anxious. 6 a.m. comes. Mind you, I'm so thirsty. I'm so hungry. 6 a.m. comes and his other assistant texts and says, Dr. Gomez says to be here at 2. There's no hospital beds available. I was so upset. Like, why does my surgery keep getting pushed back? But regardless, they told me to be there she said to be there at 2, and I still got there at around 11 because I already told my overnight nurse that my surgery was going to be at 11 because I kept changing the time. Like first the day was changed, now the time is changed twice. So I'm like, let me just get there at 11 and let me just tell her to get there at 11. So I got there at 11 o'clock anyway, even though she told me 2. So the overnight nurse was already there, and I was waiting around to get my surgery all day. Dr. Gomez assistant sent me my prescription list, and I walked over to the pharmacy to go get it. It took a while to get the prescriptions because the pharmacy, of course, you drop off your prescriptions and the pharmacy has to fulfill the order. They have to fill it. So that took a little while, but the pharmacy was right next door across the street to the clinic. So it wasn't like out of my way. I booked the overnight nurse on Facebook. I found her because I was in a group chat. And I wrote, anybody know how to find an overnight nurse? And she started following me. I looked on her page. I saw some dolls that she was taking care of, and I was like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna just go with her. And that was just that. It was $100 for 24 hours. 2 o'clock comes and the front desk tells me to go upstairs to ask them, were there any beds ready for admission. I go upstairs, ask them, is there any beds ready? And they told me to wait. So it is what it is. I waited again, and there was another doll there, and I was talking to her. And then the doctor comes by again. I see him again, and he comes over to me. He talks to me. He says, make sure you reserve your blood. Basically everything he told me the day before, he was talking to me again. So this is why I don't understand why people are saying bad things about him, because he was very kind to me. Any doctor could have just saw me and you know, not even know that I'm their patient, but he knew who I was. He came to speak to me. I will say that he's a very nice person. I didn't get admitted till about 3 p.m. I got in the room and I changed it to a gown, and I was just waiting just on my phone. At 5 o'clock, they came in and they gave me an IV. Mind you, the nurse then poked me up 4 times trying to find my vein. I had bruises on my arms as well. 6 o'clock go by, 7 o'clock, 7:30, my IV runs out. They come change the bag. Now I'm sitting in that bed and I'm upset, because now y'all playing with me. Like, what's the hold up? I'm texting, like, why is my surgery getting pushed back? Like, just blacking. And the assistant was like, oh, what room are you in? I'm gonna let the doctor know. He was doing another surgery that day. My surgery wasn't until 9 p.m. that night, mad late. At 9 p.m., a nurse comes in with a wheelchair and wheels me downstairs. I wasn't able to bring my phone, so I was not able to show a doctor a wish pick of what I wanted, which I was kind of upset about. But it didn't matter. Took me downstairs. He talks to me. This is the anesthesiologist. He's talking to me. Do I have any allergies? You know, basically the same questions that the other anesthesiologist asked me. I go in the actual operating room. The doctor comes in there, and you know, he like gave me a handshake and like a little hug, and he was just saying, like, you know, it's time, it's your time, you're ready, blah blah blah. Then I get up, I take my pictures. He didn't mark me up, he just did his thing, and I was like kind of shocked. And I was also kind of nervous, because I'm like, you're not gonna mark me up, you're not gonna know, you know, you're not gonna know what you're doing. But he knew what he was doing, he did his thing. Right after the pictures, I got the epidural. I don't have any pain from the epidural to this day. I know a lot of girls talk about the back pain that comes with it. I haven't had that. So I got the epidural. My body went numb completely, like from the breast down, my body went numb completely. But for some reason, even though my body was numb, the doctor started the lipo on this area, like by my arm, like the underarm fat. And I felt him when he was making the incision, like I felt tugging. And I was just like, holy shit. I'm like, hopefully I'm not awake during the surgery, because I've seen that before. I've seen girls be awake. And I'm like, because I wouldn't be able to last with this. So I was like, like, I don't know, for some reason I couldn't scream. I don't know, it was because I was numb. I don't know, but I couldn't scream, and I'm like, So I like turn around, and the anesthesiologist, he's behind me. He's administering medication, and I try to like grab something, because I wanted to tell him, like, I'm in pain, I can feel this. But by that time, like, literally I was knocked out right after that. So I woke up probably like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I was just so like aggravated. I know the anesthesia was still in me, and I was chilly and I was aggravated because I was uncomfortable. Obviously, I just had my surgery, and I was just like fidgety, and I woke up on my butt. I don't know why in the DR they put you on your butt after surgery. And I was telling my overnight nurse, I'm like, please turn me over, because my feet were numb. Below my knee was numb. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel nothing. Like, I couldn't move it. I couldn't winkle my toes, nothing. I thought I was paralyzed. I was so scared. I'm like, damn, he hit a nerve. I was scared. I remember telling her this. She was massaging my feet. She was bending my knee, like trying to just get my nerves back in order. and that wasn't working. So I told her, I'm like, can you at least just turn me over? She's like, no, you had lipo, you can't lay on your stomach, blah, blah, blah. And I was just so pissed off. I went back to sleep. I was in and out of sleep that whole night. I was hungry because obviously I stopped eating just 2 days before, or a day before, a day and a half ago before, at 9 p.m. because I thought my surgery was going to be early. So I hadn't eaten all those hours, and then I just lost a bunch of blood. I was starving, and I was told I couldn't eat until 6 a.m. Then 6 a.m. Mind you, it's already 3, so I have hours to go. But I'm in and out of sleep or whatever. Kept waking up. Every time I woke up, she would do the massages on my feet to try to get the feeling back. Eventually, when it's time to eat, it's not even 6 a.m. It's like 8 a.m. The food was good. The hospital food was good. I'm not gonna lie. Right after breakfast, the doctor comes in to check on me. Like, I posted your body on Instagram. I hope you saw it. Everyone is saying you look like a Barbie. People think you look Photoshopped. A lot of people think this doctor Photoshop. I don't feel like he Photoshopped because I look exactly like what he posted. And a couple dolls I've seen look exactly like, they look good, you know? So I don't know about all that, but that's what people say. I don't believe it because I've seen firsthand for myself. Like, I've experienced him. Him and the nurse tries to get me up because he's like, you have to walk to prevent blood clots and, you know, things like that. And once they got me up, I almost fell because my feet were still numb. Like, they were still completely numb. So this is like 9 a.m. like 9 a.m., 9:30-ish. And my feet wasn't back normal until like 12 p.m., 12:30. And the doctor was telling me that I needed to start the therapy, which is the massages. He was like, you need to start today. And I'm just like, I just had surgery last night. There's no way I'm getting a massage today. Like, you wait till the next day. Eventually, I get discharged from the hospital. The recovery house did not send me to the hospital with my boppy pillow. So I had to sit in the car just regular. It didn't hurt. It was pretty sore. I was still on some anesthesia, so it wasn't too bad. But the roads are kind of like bumpy. And I felt every bump. I felt every break. I felt every sneeze. I felt every cough. I felt every laugh. I felt everything. Even when I had to pee and I had to do Kegels, I felt that. I felt that. It's crazy. So I get back to the recovery house, and this time I'm in the house part of it. It was a shared room, which was okay because I literally just booked it the day before. It's like 4 girls in a room. You get it's 4 beds, 4 girls in a room. It's each room has a bathroom and a refrigerator. And I know that because I went in the other room when my bathroom was occupied, and I went in the other bathrooms to try to use the bathroom. So that's how I know. This surgery was definitely different from the first surgery, being that the pain was still there, but it wasn't as bad as the first time. It was much more bearable this time. It was just very uncomfortable and very sore. Last time was like burning like lava, like I mentioned, but this time wasn't that bad. It was just a little different because I got my arms lipo too, so it's like me trying to get myself up was like kind of hard, but I did it, of course. This surgery, I also healed faster. Well, I'm not healed, but healing faster. I started feeling better on like day 4. I started feeling way better versus last time I didn't feel better until probably like 2-3 weeks. So this time was definitely much more of a better experience, especially after my first massage. I did feel a lot better. The massages at the recovery house were very rough, of course. I mean, what did I think would be different? It was 8 massages. I only did 4 because they were just so rough, and then they had you laying on your back, so you're laying on your butt, and you know, it's a hard massage bed, so like I'm laying on a hard surface versus me sitting on a soft boppy pillow. It's not the same. You're putting a lot of pressure on your butt by sitting on a very hard massage bed. So after the 4th massage, I said, this is it, I'm done. Plus, I didn't drain that much, which was crazy to me. I didn't even have a drain, and I didn't drain that much. She drained me with the, you know, the little piece to the what do you call it? The little piece on the syringe that you seen on Instagram. They put it in and they drain it to the little piece. That is how I was drained. The front really didn't drain that much. My back drained a lot. I drained for about 2 days on my back. A lot of fluid came out from my back. However, a lot of fluid did not come out on my stomach. But I did notice that my body was draining manually. I would pee out the fluid, and I knew I was peeing out the fluid because it was kind of orange. So that's how my body drained this go around. I have new incisions, two from here behind my arms I already had those. He reused those. The 2 under my boobs I already had, so I still have those. I have 3 in the pelvis area. They're not super, like, there is scars there, but they don't look super bad. I was kind of scared at that, like, why do I have to have stitches here? Why do I have to have incisions here? I have 2 on my back, on my spine, like 2, and then I have 1 in my crack, and then I have 2 under my cheeks. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 incisions, but they're not that visible. Like, you can't really see them, and they're not all that healed yet. There's still scars on them. So of course I'm going to do another video to show when all that is healed up. Make sure you get your stitches taken out. I got my stitches taken out pretty late. I just did them this week. 6 weeks, and I just did them this week. But I was being lazy. I cut a couple of them out myself. But make sure you go get your stitches out. They can turn into keloids. Also, this round, I had my period. I got my period the first night I was in DR. It wasn't too bad. So the first day I was in DR, I had surgery day 4. By day 4, my period was way lighter. I did not wear tampons when I went to get surgery. I did not wear pads. I didn't wear anything. I just was free balling, and that was just that. But nothing happened, and you know, everything's fine. And also, your period, surgery does change your period, because I was supposed to get my period 4 weeks after. When 4 weeks came, I didn't have my period. My period came 6 days later. So surgery does change your period. Please be aware of that. By day 4, I was super itchy. When I say itchy, like, my lower back, it started in my lower back, and I was just trying to, like, just move my body a little bit, and I don't know, because I had a backboard back there, and I couldn't reach the itch. And you know, sometimes you have internal itches that you can't scratch, and I don't know, you could just like pat, you know how you pat your head? You could just pat those itches and try to get it. Your skin is numb, your skin doesn't feel normal, so it's just like, how am I gonna get, like, the itching was crazy. But the itching will start like the first week and will last, it could last up to 4 weeks, because that's what mine did. My itching this time was just, it was just crazy. When I got back home, it was up to the point that one night I had to tear off my faja and get the scratch, because it was just insane, okay? On the day before the day I was supposed to leave, I got super sick. I got super sick. When I say super sick, I mean super sick. I was throwing up and I was diarrheaing. And I don't know how or why that happened, but it happened, and I was scared. It started that morning. I woke up, my stomach was feeling kind of crazy. So I went to go take the COVID test, because like I said, this is the day before the day I was supposed to leave. And the driver, he went to like some fruit stand. He went to some fruit stand, and he wanted me to try something, and I was just like, nah, like, I already don't feel good. But he insisted, so I drank it. It was really good, but once I got back to the house, I threw it up. I threw up all the breakfast I ate, and I was diarrheaing, and I was doing both of these at the same time. So I'm on the toilet trying to sit in pain while I am vomiting in the garbage, and it was such a nasty experience. And I threw up 3 more times that day, and I had chills, and I just laid in bed all day. I didn't really eat. I didn't eat till later that night. I requested some soup, so the nurses bought me some soup, and that is what I had to, you know, make up for all the fluid I lost. And by that night, I was able to eat, so it wasn't too bad. But I was really scared because I don't get sick. So I was just like, yo, like, what is going on? Like, I hope I don't got an infection. I hope I don't gotta go to the hospital, because this is a Spanish speaking country. I would not be able to communicate anything. They probably not gonna wanna help me because I don't have insurance here. So I was just scared. But I think it must have been the medication, because it's like a couple different medications that they make you take. And another girl that same day, she was telling me that she was like, it's crazy because I didn't feel good either. Like, she was like, this is not normal. I don't like this. Basically, you know, when you about to throw up, she was saying her mouth was watering. And we agreed that we wasn't going to take our meds that night. You take meds 3 times a day. The nurses have a log of all your meds that you're supposed to take, and you take them 3 times a day. So it's kind of too much for your body. Body's not used to it. And I threw it up. I stayed in DR 9 days after surgery. I stayed a total of 13 days. The first 4 days was no surgery, labs and stuff. Then 9 days I stayed after surgery. They say that you're supposed to stay up 10 days to 14 days. Now it's the day I leave. I finally feel better. I get drove to the airport, and of course I had requested my wheelchair assistance. So the wheelchair people, they wheelchair me to where I need to go. I get on the plane first. Obviously, I sit in the front. You do not need first class. However, it wouldn't hurt to get it. If you can afford to spend that extra money, or if you want to spend that extra money, then get it. If not, it's okay to sit in the back. It really makes no difference. Truthfully, it's not that serious. My first round, I did not sit first class. But this time I did. So this go around, I started feeling good. I felt good when I got back home. I was still in pain. When I say good, I mean normal, able to walk straight up and, you know, things like that. By the time I got home, I was walking straight up. The only thing is, even now that I'm 6 weeks, sitting up, like, I'm sitting down. So once I get up, I'm gonna be like bent over like a grandma, because my back is still so sore, so achy, and it's just like sometimes it burns. It's not like a bad burn, but sometimes it still does burn. And my sides are sore, very, very sore. And I mean, right now I'm 6 weeks, so I'm still pretty early in the healing process. So that's all gonna go away within a few weeks. Here in New York, I had 6 massages, 7 actually, but 6 free ones. So that's a total of 10. This go around, I only had 11 professional massages. I didn't do, last time I had like probably like 19 or 20 or something like that. I don't remember. But this time I only needed 11, and I was fine after that. So I went to Muñeca Curves again because I love them. They just the bomb. They treat you right. They're gentle. They listen to your body. They listen to you. If you are in pain, you can tell them to ease up a little bit. But they've expanded. They have 2 locations now. One is Muñeca Curves. One is Muñequitas. Yeah. But they have 2 locations now. One is in Amityville, Long Island, and the other one is in Holbrook, I believe the name is. But they have 2. They've expanded. They have new employees, so there should be enough availability. But yeah, so these massages that I had, the first 6 were free. She gave them to me free because of all the clients that I brought in, all the people who came because I did my first video. So I want to thank you guys again for that. She's just like, oh my God, like there's a ton of girls who came because of your video. I want to thank you so much. So I want to thank y'all so much for that. Can't wait to see nobody.